Hello everyone, and welcome to today's reading of Lost Treasures. Today's chapter, The Mystery of Rennes-le-Chateau. Rennes-le-Chateau is a little village nestling in the Corbière Mountains of southwestern France. In 1885, Baron Saunier became its priest and he employed a servant girl, Marie de to help him with his work. The two soon became inseparable and were seen together everywhere. In 1892, Baron obtained a government grant of 2,400 francs to restore his church's altar and roof. The local mason set to work to replace the damaged stonework. When he was removing some of the old stone in the altar's columns, he came across 4 hollow wooden tubes, each sealed with wax. He called the priest over and showed him what he had found. Baron bent down and opened one of the tubes. Inside it was a roll of parchment with words written on it in a mixture of French and Latin. Baron assured the mason that it was unimportant and of no value, but he gathered up the rest of the tubes and took them to his rooms. Here he pored over the rolls of parchment for hours on end, trying to figure out what had been written on them. On one of the parchments, a sentence said, "The treasure belongs to Dagobert, king, and to Sion, and here he is dead." Another seemed to provide a mixed-up clue to where the treasure was hidden. Shepherdess No Temptation, to which Poussin Tenier holds the key to peace, 681, by the cross of this house of God, complete this demon guardian at midday. Putting the restoration of the church to one side for a while, Baron went off to Paris, where he bought a copy of the painting Shepherds in Arcadia by Nicolas Poussin. It shows 4 shepherds around a tombstone. Baron was convinced that it held a clue to the hiding place of the treasure mentioned in the parchments. When he returned to Rennes-le-Chateau, he confided his thoughts to Marie. In the parchments, there were directions and distances from the church's altar to the treasure. Baron and Marie followed them, but found nothing. Meantime, Marie wondered if there was any connection between the tombstone in Poussin's painting and one in the church's graveyard for a certain Countess Hartpole Blanchford, which had strange hieroglyphics carved on it. She and Baron set to work to decipher what they meant. They must have been successful and located the treasure, because restoration of the church resumed on a much grander scale than before. Expensive fabrics and gold crosses were bought for it, all out of Baron's own pocket. Then, in 1897, he built a beautiful house, complete with rock garden and fountains, which cost him 1,000,000 francs. He and Marie lived in it in great luxury. They wined and dined on fine foods, and entertained all the important people of the area at expensive parties. Word of this humble village priest's new lifestyle and behavior soon reached the ears of his bishop and the mayor of Carcassonne, both of whom demanded an explanation. Amused by their concern, Baron invited them to a sumptuous dinner party, during which he told them that his newfound wealth was a legacy from a long-lost relative in America. Then, before sending them home, Baron gave them each an expensive gift. No more was said about his money. On January 5th, 1917, Bérenger Saunier died of drink. Heartbroken, Marie shut herself away from the world for the next 20 years. When she became too frail to look after herself, a Monsieur and Madame Corbeau moved into the house to keep her company. In 1946, Marie told them the story of the treasure hidden in a vault near the church, promising to tell them where the rest of it lay before she died. But at the age of 86, she fell ill and quickly slipped into a coma, dying without regaining consciousness, so the Corbeaus never learned what became of the treasure of Rennes-le-Chateau. Presumably, it is still in the vault where Ignace Paris discovered it. Or is it? If it is, then it is. If it isn't, then it isn't. Maybe the mystery's been solved, maybe it hasn't. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you next time when we head off in search of the treasure of the Third Reich. I'll see you then.